Alrighty, my friends, this video is going to be about Jenny's chickens. So I'm going to go through, do a little tutorial on how to play the tune. Before we get started, you're going to need to know 3 things. 2 of those things are arpeggios. You need to know your B minor arpeggio, and you need to know your A major arpeggio. So B minor is going to be here. That's the first really important pattern I'm going to use. B, D, F sharp, and then B again at the top. All right, that's the first arpeggio you're going to need to know. The other one is A major. That one's a little more common. A, C sharp, E, A, E, C sharp, A. So make sure you know both of those arpeggios. If you're not totally familiar, stop, write them down, practice them a few times up and down so you know those arpeggios really comfortably, what notes are in them, how to play them forward and backwards. Other thing you're going to need to know in this video is how to do these rolls here. You can play the tune without the rolls, but they're really cool and they kind of give the tune its character. It's supposed to kind of sound like pecking chickens, and you know, it's got like a kind of sound going on. So I do have a whole video, it's like half an hour long, on how to really practice rolls and make sure you're playing them without injuring your fingers. 'Cause it's kind of easy, like you're moving your fingers so fast. There's some important things that are going on underneath the surface of the roll. So I have a whole video about rolls. I would suggest watching it and working on some of those. If you already know your arpeggios and you already know your rolls, you're good to go. Here we go. So the tune starts on this F sharp note on the E string, and we're going to actually start right off with the roll. So we have this. It's important that you're in the upper middle part of the bow. It's also important that your bow holds up, choked up a little bit. So I put my thumb, instead of putting it right by the frog here, I move it up. I'm about here. So that helps the balance of my bow, so I can really kind of get in with my pointer finger. I'm kind of squeezing in so that when I do some of my up bows, I can really push in and we start getting that momentum of the tune. So we're going to start right here. It's like a little bit above the middle, about there. So that's the first thing, is just we start off with the roll. And then we have another half roll right after that. So we've got the full roll, which goes above and below, and then we've got a half roll. And that's kind of that first sound that we get, is a full roll followed by a half roll. I'll show you slowly once. And then now we're in the A major arpeggio, and so we're going to hit the C sharp. So sorry, I played a different tune there. So that's the first 4 beats there. Let me show you again. We're doing the roll, and then we go down to the C sharp and back. And then we're just going up and down that A arpeggio. That's all that's happening there. We go A, E, A, C sharp. So it's kind of a flipped arpeggio going down and then back up. But then we go right back to it. Second time, instead of doing the arpeggio, we go up the scale. And then down the arpeggio. And it's that same sort of like go below it and back up sort of thing that goes on. So that's really it. That's the whole first section. There's 3 parts, that's 1 part. So we have the roll with the half roll. The first time it's all arpeggio, and then the second time we walk up the scale and then do the arpeggio. So let me show you nice and slow. Both of those things together. This is the first part. Okay, so what you'll notice is that every time I get the C sharp, every time I hit that F sharp, I'm really pulling the bow and really ripping it. And so what that's going to do is give me enough bow to then push through on the up bow. Otherwise, you'll find yourself closer and closer to the frog. So I'm going to play the A part one more time. Same speed, not too fast. And I want you to notice where I am in the bow. And then I'm kind of ripping the bow on those di, la, dia, da, da. And then we have da-dee-da. We have enough bow for these we've got these big up bows with like 3 notes in them. So watch out for that. Rip and then push through, okay? 1 and ready, go. And then we go on to the B part, okay? When I first started learning Irish tunes, which I'm only about 2 years into my journey of learning Irish music, but when I first started learning it, I just kind of I was focusing more on the left hand and then just kind of getting the notes and sort of trying to get the right sound. But the most important thing and my number one piece of advice is focus on the bow directions. Focus on what direction the bow is going, because that's where all the juicy stuff is, okay? I mean, over here it's so easy, really. You've just got arpeggios and scales. All the life, the blood of the tune is in the bow. So really pay a lot of attention to the bow patterns I'm doing, because they're really, really good. They're from my Irish teacher, so she's just awesome, Winifred Horan. She's amazing, and her bowings are awesome and rockin', and they work really well. So here we go on to the B part. A lot of similar things going on. Of this kind of big up bow push through. There's like 3 notes usually in the up bows, and then we've got this ripping down bow thing going on. There it is again. It's the same idea, but now we're going down on the A string. So we're going to go, the roll is now going to happen. It's the same roll. It's a first finger roll, but it's going to happen on the A string in the B part. So here we go. This is the second part of Jenny's Chickens. Let me close this so you don't have to hear the airplane. And let's try that again. We still have that half roll. The half roll still happens on the E string. So it's the same. So we have that same idea happening there. So starts with this slur again. So it's really a lot of the same stuff that we're going back and forth there. You'll notice we have the same arpeggio deal happening, and then the second half of the part goes up the scale instead of the arpeggio. So it's really almost the same exact thing. Let me play the A part, or let me play the B part again, and then I'll play the A and the B part, and then there's a third part, and we'll be done. All right, so here is the B part again, and I'm just going to play it without stopping just so you can see how it flows together. So it goes twice through like this. 1, 2, start with the slur. And then that's it, and it goes on to the just to the C part from there. All right, so I'll play the A part and the B part, and then I'll go ahead and play the C part, and then I'll stop and play the C part again. So here we go from the beginning. 1, 2, ready. It ends up starting up bow, so let's start up bow. Really, you could do either way, but up bow seems to work a little better. 1, 2, ready, go. Back at the beginning. So the C part, super fun. I love the whole string crossing business that happens there. So we're gonna start with the B. We always kind of have that slide into it. And again, you kind of have that feel the whole time. You're kind of keeping the beat with the down bow and then sliding into things with the up bow. So you've just got that like really cool feel that happens there. We've got this like really rhythmic kind of pop that happens on all the offbeat. Da da pop da da pop da da pop da da pop. So you kind of want to have that feel the whole time of the down bow ripping and the up bow the up bow's like snaking its way up, and you kind of really push into it with the pointer finger. So let me show you that C part now. Again, it's really the same bowing the whole time and a lot of the same notes, but now we've got this kind of octave jump that happens. So we have B and then high B. That was a little out of tune. It's worth like sitting there and tuning that. Making sure they really match, because the cool part about it is when they really match and it just like is super in tune. So especially right there, you're going to notice it because it's a B and a B. So I would pause the video and sit there for like 15 minutes and slide your way around until you really like it, and then see if you can, after you've slid it around a few times, just put it in the right spot without sliding, and do that a few times. Nope, that was too low. Cool, that was on it. And by a few times, I mean like 10 times until you really, really don't make any mistakes anymore. Ideally, that's where you're pushing yourself to. Until you get bored and you just want to learn the tune, and then we go back to it. All right. So once you're kind of happy with your octave there, you can always come back and practice it more tomorrow. We're just going to go down the scale with the B. So that's it. And you can do a couple different bowings there. You can just go back and forth. Or I really like this kind of figure 8 bowing. Ooh, yikes. And that's kind of, that goes back to that same feel of like pushing into the up bows and ripping the down bows. So I'll show you again. Rip the B, and then slur 3. And then rip, and that gets those rips right in the right place. So and then we have a nice little bowed triplet that takes us into the part that's the same as it was in the first 2 parts. So there's that same thing. And then we're back, okay? So it's really similar again to the first 2 parts. Same endings the whole time. You have the arpeggio ending and the scale ending, and then something cool that happens at the beginning of the part. So here it is, the whole B part. I'll just play the whole thing. There's your rip. I missed the rip. And then the second time you play the C part, instead of going to open A, you're going to go to open E so you can loop back to the beginning. So the first time you play the C part, it goes to open A at the end. Second time you play the C part, it goes to open E. So let me show you the whole entire C part, first and second times. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. As you can tell, I just went through the whole tune again, all right? So to finish off the video, I'm going to put the metronome on, actually, and put it at a nice little steady tempo for us. Play through the tune twice, and then you have something to play along with and kind of push yourself. I like playing the tunes at 102. Let's see how that feels. Ooh, that's a little fast. Let's do 80. We'll do it here. Here we go. A little slower for a practice video. Yeah, that's better. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. When I end it, I do like ending it on the A because the tune is in it kind of feels more complete than the opening, or than the F sharp. Sorry, not on the A, on the B. Kind of hit the low B there. All right, this video is pretty much done now, but I am going to do it one time a little bit faster in case you do want to try that, just so it's all in the same video here. And so I will do it here at 102. And an important thing I can say, always make it smaller. My teacher says that to me, I can't tell you, like every single week. So string crossings, really minimal, small string crossings. You know, you're not doing this. Really small bows, like you're living in like 2 inches, 3 inches of bow. So just keep it nice and compact and controlled. And you'll notice it sounds a lot clearer and just a lot more powerful actually when you use less bow. It's kind of crazy, but that's how it's going to work here. All right, here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. Enjoy, everybody.